Hi. This video will cover the basic export and import for Daz characters into Unreal Engine. We'll also go over some important fixes. Here we have Laura for Genesis 9. For later character customization, I'll export just the base character for now. Groom hair and bindings, accessories, and clothes will be covered in more focused tutorials further along. For morphs, before exporting, make sure if a master control exists, it is first enabled or they may not transfer correctly. Here, I'm enabling face details, body pose details, and automatic flex morphs. Once ready, go to the File drop-down and select Send to Daz to Unreal. In this window, you can rename your asset if you want. Next, we'll select the asset type. For characters, select Skeletal Mesh. Other export types may be covered in a later video. For morphs, check the box next to Export Morphs, then click the Choose Morphs button to select which ones you want to transfer. Only those listed under the character hierarchy will transfer. Those for attached items will not. To automatically add corrected morphs, click the Add JCMs button for each body segment you'll want to use. For basic face morphs, click the button for your Genesis version under Add Expressions. Selecting the Auto JCM option will auto-generate a control rig in Unreal Engine for detected JCM morphs. Selecting Add Connected Morphs will attempt to detect and add ones that are linked to those on your export list. An allowed morph double dipping is when multiple morphs have overlapping control. For example, eye blink controls blinking for both eyes, but there is also a left blink and a right blink. Enabling this keeps all morphs usable and intact, but keep in mind that you can end up overdriving them, meaning they can move twice the distance when both are used. For more detailed mesh, enable Bake Subdivision. The higher the subdivision level, the more memory will be needed. Morphs and subdivision together will greatly increase memory requirements. Here you can see the memory used when importing a subdivision 2 character with a large number of morphs. Most later export options are often kept default. Fixed twist bones should be checked for Genesis 3 and 8 characters. For Genesis 9, leave it unchecked. Import facing right, I leave unchecked. This was for an older animation workflow, but I've no longer needed it with newer animation export options. Material combine, I prefer combine identical or no combine, depending on how much control I want over materials. For example, combine identical will make both eyes the same material unless they have different textures in Daz before export. Unique skeleton will cause a new skeleton be generated for the character. For my workflow, I keep this unchecked and assign or create the skeletons on import. The Convert to Epic Skeleton is a newer feature added when 5.5 came out and may be incorporated in my future tutorials. Currently, I leave it unchecked as I have not had a chance to test it thoroughly. Checking the advanced settings opens up more menu options if you need. Before exporting, make sure your Unreal project first has the plugin enabled. If not, enable it and restart Unreal. I recommend going to your project settings in Unreal, go to your Daz to Unreal settings, and enabling the Show FBX Import dialog. I'll also increase the default eye moisture opacity to 0.04 to closer match real-world thickness of an eye lens. Return to Daz and click Accept to start your export when ready. If an Unreal project is open in the background, it will automatically begin to import once Daz is done processing. Since I've already exported the character, I'll show you how to manually run an import if Unreal wasn't running already. In your Daz 3D install location, find the Daz to Unreal folder. Inside that, find the folder name of your export, and then drag the DTU file into your content browser in Unreal to start import. If you check the option, the Show FBX Import dialog will show. The DTU file only modifies what's needed, so other settings changed in prior imports in that project can carry over. If you need to, use the Reset to Defaults button, close the import dialog, and then drop the DTU in file again. To generate a unique skeleton, leave this section blank. Otherwise, select a previously imported matching skeleton to use as a reference. Now, normal maps need to be flipped, but the option doesn't seem to work here, so we'll fix that manually. And these warning messages for smoothing and IK can be ignored for now. By turning down near clip value in the project settings, we can now check details up close. Notice how skin looks bumpy and the veins in the eye are sunken in? The normal maps need to be flipped. This is due to the difference of how OpenGL and DirectX read normal maps, and why the flip green channel is so important. Daz and Blender operate on OpenGL, while Unreal operates off DirectX. So anything going from Daz or Blender into Unreal needs to have their normal maps updated. So you go to your texture folder, holding down Control, select each normal map. Then right-click and go to the Asset Actions, and then select Edit Selection in Property Matrix. Enable the Flip Green Channel option. Now, you can see how the veins properly pop for the eyes, and the skin texture looks much better. Next, to improve the eyelashes, you'll want to lower the transparency and make the material two-sided. For eyebrows, I'll just lower transparency. Next, I'll disable some subsurface profiles to fix rendering issues from the mouth and teeth. Notice this black box that appears on the specular highlight? Disable the subsurface profile for both these materials. Finally, we'll fix the missing smoothing information by using a deformer that applies the dual quat skinning method that Daz Studio uses. The DQS deformer was introduced in the Content Examples project and has since been added to Daz to Unreal. Select the DTU DQS deformer to apply it. This deformer should correct smoothing issues around joint bends and extreme angles to match how it looked in Daz. Now your character in Unreal should better resemble how it looked in Daz. Subscribe for more, and hit that like button if you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.